Hi, Isabelle.
Sue, how are
How are
you
you?
going?
We
I'm
finally
very
get
well.
to chat.
Yeah, it's so lovely to connect with you here. Very excited.
Thanks for joining me. So I've just dropped the kids off to school, came
Oh,
in, grabbed my cup. It may not be a coffee, but it's a herbal tea.
I've got my water here because it's the evening here in Australia. So
I
it
know. So it's your evening and it's hot.
is very humid tonight. I've got my summer frock
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
What's
Oh,
the weather like?
beautiful.
What
I miss
about
that
you?
weather because I moved back from South Africa in 2018. So I really miss that weather, I must say. We've
So
had
what
to
temperature?
adjust to the Irish weather, but it's just a different way. But it's all good.
And it's about accepting what is, isn't it?
There you go. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you joining me. I have been following your work and I know we've been connecting over Facebook, and I just feel like you're a soulmate on the other side of the world because we have so much in common. I feel like when
Mm.
you write your posts and you type, and in the work you do that I've seen, it's like, oh my gosh, that is like me. That is me. And I just love that connection. And without technology, we wouldn't have found that. And practicing mindfulness in South Africa, and then here, you know, relating and finding your tribe of people who actually get what you're doing and they get the benefits has been incredible for me because, in your wider circle, a lot of people just don't really get it. And I find mindfulness has become quite a buzzword over here, and many people may not just get what it's all about. So,
Yes.
can I first say this is Isabelle Mary Fitzgerald from, well, you live in Sydney, right? But you're from New
Yes.
South Wales,
Yes, that's
and
right.
you are the founder of My Peaceful Universe,
That's right.
which
Yes.
is so beautiful. And you have your website. We'll talk more about, anyway, we'll talk more about that after. Yeah, I've been stalking you.
I love your work too, by the way, and I feel so blessed to be in your presence. And we do have
Oh,
so many similarities, and the work you're doing is amazing. And it's just, I don't know, it's always so beautiful to connect with like-minded communities and people.
totally. Yeah.
Um, as you've mentioned before, I think in your circle sometimes they may not understand you. And one thing about technology is I really feel like I found a beautiful tribe, a mindful tribe.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, which is just so heartwarming, and it's like, yes, people get me.
Exactly. I'm not just on another planet.
Oh, that's right.
Welcome, come to my planet. It's all
I
cool here.
know. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
spot on. I'm on the same page as you.
Oh, brilliant. So, Isabelle, for people who just don't really get, like, they've heard this word mindfulness and they're like, what is this all about? Like, how would you, for somebody who just doesn't know what it is or where to begin, how would you best describe?
Yeah, gosh, there's so many different meanings. For me, from my heart, it's about connecting to the here and now. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's appreciating each moment as it arises without judgment, and it's approaching each moment with love and kindness and compassion,
Mm-hmm.
and it's approaching and befriending all our emotions that come and go with kindness and compassion. So. Yeah, it's allowing each moment to unfold. Yeah, for me, without judgment and just accepting
Yeah.
each moment as it is with love.
And, people may think, well, I mean, what's the big deal? What's that going to do for me? And how do I do that?
Yeah, well, I think before I learned mindfulness, I think my monkey mind was very, very busy, and I have had anxiety in the past,
Yeah.
and and I was constantly in the future or the past, and I really didn't know, I didn't have the tools on how to appreciate the moment and see the beauty that
Yeah.
surrounds us in the
Did you
world.
even realize at that time that your mind was was all over the place? Because I know with me, I also really struggled, and it was only when I was 34 that, which is a long time ago, I realized
I love it.
I realized that I am not my thoughts, because I was consumed by overwhelming negative thoughts. But I didn't
So
realize I had a choice.
either
This
did I.
isn't
I
that
was,
incredible? And that totally changed my life.
yes, that's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
I, to be honest, mine, it was quite serious. I developed anorexia. So I guess I was trying, I had low self-esteem, and I decided that if I became really skinny,
Yeah.
that my life would be perfect.
Yeah.
And then I realized that when I became skinny, that didn't solve my problems, and I was still,
Yeah.
and I became very anxious, and actually my illness became my gift. So I started to learn to meditate about 25 years ago. I started with meditation, and that really helped me with my anxiety.
Yes.
But then when, after giving birth to my first child, River, that was 14 years ago,
Yeah.
my anxiety started to surface again, and then I started to develop insomnia, and I thought,
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
this meditation is really helpful, but I feel like I need to do more. And
Yes. Yeah.
so then I discovered mindfulness, and I went down the road of mindfulness, and I did lots of 8-week intensive mindfulness courses, and yeah, I'm just so grateful every day. It totally transformed my life, and
Yeah.
I realized that I'm not my thoughts, and I'm not a victim.
Yeah. So
I can
yeah. So
just,
that's really powerful.
every day I give thanks for mindfulness,
Yeah.
and
How did you discover? Did
you
you
know how.
just you look for options and ways, and
No,
then
to be honest with you, I gave birth, and then between feeds I had trouble falling asleep, and then it got to the point where I was so exhausted, and I thought, what am I going to do? So I went to the doctor,
yeah,
and I said,
yeah,
I don't know what to do. I can't sleep, and I was sobbing, and he said, well, maybe you should see a psychologist. And I was quite resistant, to be honest, because I have always been a very spiritual person, and
yes,
and I studied energetic healing at Nature Care College, and I was a practitioner, and here I was at the,
yes,
asking for help, and I felt quite ashamed, and I thought, I should I should I shouldn't be going through this, and my inner critic was just.
mm,
So it just shows you that all the tools I learned when I was studying in terms of healing, I still couldn't help myself. So
yeah,
I know a beautiful psychologist, so I went to her, I trusted, and she said, you know what, have you heard of mindfulness? And I said, no. And back in the day, like, she was very, that was 14 years ago, and mindfulness, it wasn't really around in
yes,
Australia.
yeah,
And she said,
yeah,
yeah. And she said, I think this would really benefit from this. And it's fairly new here. Would you be open to it? And you would need to meditate twice a day. And I said, well, that's easy. I already meditate. And she said, but it's a different kind of meditation. You allow your thoughts. When I studied meditation a long time ago, it was kind of like, I guess it was, not allowing too many thoughts to come in. If I had a lot of
yes.
thoughts on meditation, I would judge myself and think, I'm not meditating properly. I just
So
had a really,
then you're practicing being self-critical. You're not, yeah. And that's the
yeah,
lovely thing with mindfulness is it's full of self-compassion and not non-judgment. So
that's
it's not, and you're not trying to resist. You're just allowing, because the more you resist what is, and when things aren't the way you want them to be, you're creating another monster, right?
exactly. And
Yeah.
that ability to surrender and just allow the
Yes.
thought to come and go. And I thought, wow. So I did.
It's,
So
yeah.
so because of her, and I thanked her. I continually thank her.
Yes. Yeah.
And she's a very special psychologist. She's very alternative. She specializes with pregnant women and after birth, and she teaches mums mindfulness, and she's just an incredible soul. So I'm forever grateful. And she knows that I've started my peaceful universe, and I said, because of
Mm.
you. It's because of you. Thank you so much. And
She was the instrument or the messenger.
to be honest, she was.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
I love hearing that story. And then you've lived it and embraced it and embodied mindfulness then since, and it's obviously had a huge impact on you. And you use it in your everyday life, you know. But yeah. So for people to know that mindfulness, it's a way of living, it's a way of being. What I have come across people, and they tend to think it's something extra that they need to do. And what I try and explain is that, you know, informal mindfulness, it's about doing everything you do anyway, but you're doing it in a way where you are fully present in a non-judgmental and accepting and full of compassion and self-compassionate way. And then you have the formal, where yes, you can lie and do your meditation or sit or your body scan or whatever, but it's not an extra, it doesn't have to be an extra thing that you have to do. And that's, so I feel people don't fully understand, and that what we teach is tools and techniques that can empower them to live happier, healthier, fuller lives, where they've become so full of self-love and self-acceptance. And when you radiate that and when you embody that, it radiates out into your society and everyone who you come in touch with. So it's very, very powerful. And I just don't think everybody quite gets that. And the thing about mindfulness, I invited you to do the talking, and now here I'm doing
it. To you. No, this is not about me.
No, I know.
It's a beautiful chat, and we're expressing ourselves, and
exactly. You got to go where it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but the thing about mindfulness is, and I find a lot of people who I've spoken to who also start meditation, they say, no, my mind's too busy. I can't do that. It's not working. And so, but mindfulness is, it's very experiential. You got to actually practice it and embody it to reap the benefits. And not like you can practice one technique once a day or even once a week and then that's it. It's a way of being. And as regards meditation, it's not about getting rid of your thoughts. It's about being with your thoughts, as you said. So my passion is to enable people to see that, you know, because it is so transformative, even with small techniques, and a few minutes a day is so transformative. It doesn't take a lot, you know.
Yeah, I think people sometimes are afraid of change, and as you said earlier, they think it's going to take up more time in their life.
Yes.
It's another commitment.
Yes, yeah.
And even with clients, when I do one-on-one coaching, I can see the resistance sometimes when I say, you know, it's not a huge commitment. Why don't we start with just waking up and just doing some breathing in the morning and so I try and subtly, instead of saying, okay, you have to commit to meditating 20 minutes, because I know for some people that is unrealistic.
Yeah. And they become deflated then when they can't do it, and then it's like this, and then it's like, no, it's not for me.
No, that's right.
Yeah, where I start with is like 1 minute, and you know, attach that 1 minute of focused breathing to things you already do in your day, like when you're, as I always say, for me, boiling the kettle. I'm a tea addict.
Yes, so am I. I can't live without tea. I drink it all the time. I love you.
That's unreal. I gotta come to Sydney.
You've got to come. I was about to say.
Wow. Gee. So when I'm boiling the kettle, which is a lot of times, I attach my technique, you know, so every time I boil the kettle, I check in with myself. So it's not an extra thing. And when I attach it to something I already do, it's easier to make it a habit.
Definitely. I agree with you. And when you've been, also I find when you've been meditating for a long time, I find that meditative feeling, it flows on.
Oh, yeah.
Through the day. And and actually what I tell clients, for those who aren't ready for breathing or meditation, one thing I get them to do is start to become aware of their thoughts. And I'll say, okay, so just start to become aware, and we'll choose like whether it's when you're driving or when you're walking.
Yeah.
And when your thought drifts off to something unhelpful, just say, thank you, mind.
Yes.
And take a deep breath and come back and focus on whatever you're doing. You're walking or you're driving. And so sometimes I start that way if they're not comfortable with the breathing or the, and they love that they love doing that.
Yeah.
And we're not putting the thought away. We're saying, thank you, mind, because our mind is incredible. It's such a gift.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
What it can do. And so it's really finding, being intuitive and understanding that everyone is so unique, and everyone will, I guess, learn in their own way, and it's about working out what that particular individual needs for their own.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Learn to be more flexible with how I guess teach it and coach and
Yeah, exactly. Making it work for that person, because there's a way that can work for everybody and different techniques that they may resonate with more. Yeah. For sure.
Do you find that as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, and it's by connecting and chatting with that person and working through all the different methods, and you start really small and with what they can resonate with.
Exactly.
and build from there.
Yeah.
And would you like to tell us a little bit about My Peaceful Universe?
I would love to. So,
Great. As I sip on my tea.
I might have a quick sip of water.
Sure.
Thank you.
It's such a beautiful name, My Peaceful Universe, and it epitomizes what mindfulness gives, hey?
Yeah, when I was trying to think of what to call it, the word peace just resonates so strongly to me, and I love the universe. So I don't know, I just, in a meditation one day, that's what came for me, so I went with that.
Yeah.
And I just visualized a lot of children just feeling peaceful and just this global vision. And it was all about kids. It was how I started My Peaceful Universe. Was my son started, he had to change school when he was when he was 10 years old. He got into an opportunity class, which was wonderful, but he didn't have any friends there. So when he started, they were invited to go on school camp within a few weeks of him starting, and he started to develop anxiety.
Yeah.
It was quite severe, to be honest with him. He couldn't sleep. He didn't want to do his activities after school. He didn't want to go to school. He didn't want to go to sleepovers anymore. So I thought, I've got all these tools and I've been practicing mindfulness. Why don't I, how can I teach him some techniques? So I started teaching him how to breathe before going to bed, deep belly breathing and extending his out breath. And I taught him how to become aware of his thoughts. And when he was thinking about going on camp and fearing the worst and noticing that was an unhelpful thought and saying, thank you, mind. So we started doing that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was just so amazed how a 10-year-old could pick up these tools so quickly. So I worked with his school counsellor, and it was such a blessing. She knew a little bit about mindfulness. So together we worked with River, and we saw such a dramatic change. So we ended up going on camp, which was incredible. And then he became a prefect at school like 2 weeks later. And it really built confidence because...
For sure. Yeah. Because when you have the skills to cope, your confidence is boosted.
Yeah, he became a different child. And then a lot of parents started to me, hey, my child suffers from anxiety. Is there any chance you could, help? So I was already a practitioner, but I wasn't working with kids at the time. So I thought, why don't I start classes? And
because you got to know, if your child has this need, then there has to be millions of others in that same boat. And we're not taught these skills at school. And let's face it, these days they need these skills more than ever.
It's so important.
Yeah.
It's I recognised that, hey, there must be so many kids or families who are
Yes.
struggling with things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started one class, and then one class grew to 2, then to 3, then to 4, and then I realised, oh my goodness, okay, this is there's
Yeah.
a next. So 4 years down the track, where my Peaceful Universe is at now. So we've just started in schools last year, which is really exciting.
Fabulous. Oh, yeah.
So early intervention is something as you were saying before, something I'm very passionate about, and our mental health figures here in Australia with kids, 1 in 7 at the moment, children are suffering a mental health issue, and
It's global. It's global, hey? Really, yeah.
It's really sad to witness. So,
Yeah.
like you, I'm just so passionate about touching these children and giving them some kind of mindfulness skills that they can start to emotionally regulate, be less reactive. And there's so many challenges, as you know, with technology and social media.
Yes. Yeah.
Parents are busy, so they don't have their parents as present anymore. There's so many things that are happening out there, and I thought I want to teach kids how to come home and connect with that inner stillness. We all have it.
Yes.
We're not taught how to come home to our own peaceful universe.
Yeah, because it's all in there, hey? That's why I came up with my name, Inner Happy, because I realized again, I was like, what am I going to now? Because I partner with James White, who's a psychotherapist in Cork in the south of Ireland. So we have developed and got our course accredited to train teachers because, you know, we feel the whole organizational approach is really important, because there's no point in just training the students. Well, there is a point, but if the teachers are coming in and they are all over the place, it creates conflicts, you know. You know, they're not all on that same page. But then I was also creating my own, and it just dawned on me, like you said, you're thinking what to call this. And I realized how happy mindfulness makes me, like inside, regardless of what's outside. And
yes, that's right.
Yeah. So
such a beautiful name, and it just resonates such positive energy and bliss, and you know what, you resonate that.
Yeah. Like yours, yeah. So in your mindfulness classes, you teach children then you know, how to challenge their thoughts, how to regulate their emotions.
Yes.
They do some meditation. Anything else that you'd like to share?
So basically they're 1 hour classes, and within that I guess we do a breathing exercise. We do a lesson for that week. Every week's a different lesson. Then we do a mindful game. We do a meditation. We do journaling. We do a lot of sharing. So I want it to be fun and engaging. And so the curriculum I put together for school, or the program, is very similar. It's So I guess the classes I run with my students outside of school are done after school, and they're face-to-face.
Yes.
And then, so that's one aspect of my Peaceful Universe. And then the other aspect is the program for teachers and students at school.
Yes.
And then the other aspect is I do an online course for families, Overcome My Monkey Mind, which is a 10-day course.
Yeah.
And then we do Teach the Teacher, like you do, but that's a one-on-one or group. Like I did a training with somebody in Europe last week, which was beautiful, and then they access my resources, and so I just train them on how to use them actively within their clinic or within their classroom. So
it's for everybody basically, and everybody can benefit. And there's you know, wonderful. So, and I see, and it's so lovely that you're recording your own meditations, and and that's for Insight Timer. Is that right?
So Insight Timer have a collection of my meditations.
Great.
Lovely. It's a beautiful opportunity, but I actually have a lot more meditations. And when people access my resources, So the schools who teach my program, they have access to all my meditations. And then people who do my course, when I do teacher training, they get access to all my meditations as well.
And, oh, lovely. And you wrote these meditations yourself, obviously. And
yes.
Oh, it's so gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, no, look, you know what? I'm a little bit slow. My husband always teases me because he knows when I'm about to write a collection. I'm a bit of a... I don't know. I write them and then I go away and I listen to them back and I think, oh, I need to change that. I'm so slow at it, but I love it. And
yeah, it's a work in progress, you know? It's a work in progress. And it's so lovely. That's really nice. And the meditations, are they for children or adults or both?
So the meditations, all the meditations I've written are for 7 to 14 years of age.
Yeah.
But all my adult clients, they listen to them anyway.
That's the thing. That's what I find. I wrote because I wrote the Mindful Teen because I wanted to, you know, when people in their teens, they really struggle. So that teen course is actually just adapted for adults, you know, it's and all the same techniques. It's just, you know, and the meditations, it's the same thing. Yeah.
But don't you find when you listen to children's meditations, I get just as much out of it?
Totally.
Listening, you know, it's about surrendering and just being in that moment and listening to that beautiful voice. And for me,
and especially the children's, it brings out that inner child, that bit of magic that we actually lose, hey?
I agree.
That's gorgeous.
I love it. And sometimes on Insight Timer, I'll go and listen to, you know, I'll go into the children's section and I love listening to it. Just it takes me to that happy place. But I only just released meditations for kindergarten, year 1 and year 2, because my program is for in Australia. What year 2 is in Ireland.
How old are they?
So 8.
Okay,
8 upwards, and because our program's a whole school approach, I've just developed meditations for 5, 6 and 7-year-olds. I thought it would be really beautiful to have just some really, really simple. So I've just released them and presented them at schools last week. So look, it's slowly evolving. It's a labour of love, and like you, aren't we lucky to do what we absolutely love every day? It's my
passion. It has helped me so much that I feel we need to share it. It's as simple as that.
Australia, and I'm just thinking here, I would love to run a course with you.
Oh my gosh, you know, I would love it. You know, my daughter is she's turning 16, but she really struggles with the weather here, and they were born in Cape Town, my 2 children, and she wants to be an architect and move to Australia.
Wow.
Yeah. She said no, in Australia she can build these beautiful homes, because, you know, we had our house with our pool and more outdoor living there. And so she said, no, she wants to, and she's always designing. And so she said, no, I'm going to Australia, find out from Isabelle about the fires. I'm going to Australia. I said, well, if you go, then I can go and meet Isabelle. And I would do a workshop.
Oh, that would be so amazing.
So never say never.
That's exactly right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Tell me if you can't. That would be, we're doing something together.
Isn't Fitzgerald an Irish surname?
It is.
And Mary Fitzgerald. Like, I mean, what's going on there?
So that's my husband. Yes, my parents are from the island of Mauritius. And then my husband's family, they're Irish descendants. So he's been to Ireland. I've never been. Love to. So you never know. I might come and visit you before you come.
Exactly. Oh wow, that's awesome. Oh yeah. Look, you know, you never know. I have major plans for when my kids move on. Major plans. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. So you're on the radar, you know.
Thank you.
So okay, 2 more questions in case we run out of time.
Okay.
I've developed, it should be online in the next few days. My website's being redone, and I've developed just a little video course to help people with anxiety. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's like, it's very real. It's very it's just me, you know.
Congratulations.
Well, you know what? I feel if I can help just a few people,
yes,
that my life is complete. That's really it. And but what tips would you? Because obviously I have my way of thinking, and I like to see what top tips would you give people who are struggling with anxiety or overwhelm and stress? What even one technique would you tell them to use, you know, that can help?
Yeah. You know, every morning on rising, one thing I say to myself is I put my hand on my heart, my hand on my belly, and I say, I'm safe. And
That's nice, yeah.
And it grounds me, and it brings me into the present moment. It brings me back into my body, out of my head, that I'm safe. And I say, I'm safe, little Izzy, and I'm safe, big Izzy. So I'm talking to every aspect of myself.
Oh, lovely.
I just find that so soothing, and it's bringing loving kindness to myself. So when we're struggling with anxiety, I think I remember trying to push it away all the time. And now I guess I embrace however I'm feeling when I wake up in the morning. I embrace that and say it's okay, like I would to a friend. If a friend is feeling a little anxious, I'd give them a hug, and I'd be there for them. And so I offer that to myself.
To yourself. That's the big thing, is we do so much, you know, for others and externally, the way we speak to them, the way we treat them. We need to learn to do that for ourselves. Yeah,
so
that's lovely.
And I say, I make space for however I'm feeling right now, and I'll check in, do a mindful check-in. And if I'm feeling sad or anxious, that's okay, Izzy, you're safe. I'm here for you. I allow you to be here.
That's lovely.
That was the biggest tip. That's helped me so much.
That is lovely. I love that. Yeah.
For everyone, but for me, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can feel when you say that to yourself, you know, it's so soothing and reassuring. So yeah, we need to be there for ourselves in any moment. Yeah.
At any moment, I think.
And also, yeah, with anxiety, it can just come out of the blue. Like, I mean, and if you have those words ready to say to yourself and to take that space, you know, because often, like you say, when you have panic or stress and anxiety, you just want to stop it. You want it to just go away. But that way you're soothing and giving yourself what you need in that moment. And then it eases because you are soothing yourself. So you know, your emotional brain calms and your body calms. So calm body, calm mind, you know.
Exactly. You know, you're moving out of flight, and you're reducing, you know, the increase in serotonin, and you're giving yourself oxytocin and love and bliss chemicals. And I'm not saying that that's just that alone.
No, but that's no, sure. There's always but it's a really good start.
It's a start. So I don't know if that resonates with you, or if that's it.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. No, I love that. It's always nice to know, you know, what somebody else, their experience, their journey. You know, we're all there to share and to help others and, you know, empower people and ourselves. And
as you said, there's only one thing that one small thing that can make a difference in another person's life.
That's right.
I'm happy. I'm done. You know, you know, I've made a little bit of friends. So yeah.
Oh, that's so, no, I love that. I love that for in the morning, because like you say, first thing in the morning, you know, we wake up and we run, and just taking that moment can really set the tone for how your day begins, and you know, set it off on the right foot. Yeah,
and telling yourself, I'm going to be there for you today.
Yes. Yeah.
We're safe. We've got this, you know.
Yeah, I am my own best friend.
Yes, that's right. And I think that's what creates a lot of separation in the world, is we're so disconnected disconnected from ourselves.
Yes. Oh, very well said. Very
And if
well said. Yeah.
we can make peace with who we are and accept ourselves right here, right now, then I think then we can start to create world peace. It has to start with us.
I agree. I agree. If we, yeah, oh, totally. I love the way you've said that, because what this work has done for me is, as I say, made me internally happy, and
Yeah.
I'm a more calm, less reactive, kind,
Yeah.
compassionate person. As I don't know, maybe I always was, maybe, you know, but it's made it more so. And I don't even know what I was going to say. But when you're when you're more living in that space, it like I said, there's a ripple effect. So when it starts with you, if you're less reactive, your relationships are better, your whole life is better. And if people go out with that mindset and with that capacity, which they can learn, it's not just in you, you can learn it, then there's schools will be happier, communities will be better, there'll be less violence, there'll be less crime, people will be, you know, we'll be living in a happier, better world.
Oh, well, Sue, actually, I wanted to ask you something, what your thoughts were in terms of mindfulness and in education. It's an interesting thing, don't you find? I don't know how this works in Ireland, but I guess, and we read a lot about in terms of when we teach mindfulness, we need to come from the space of having practiced,
Yes.
and to model mindfulness to the people, our own children, or to students in the classroom. It's better than that it comes from a space of authenticity.
Oh yeah.
But you know what I've learned? Something, I had a realization today, and I wanted to share this with you. When I was doing a training last week at a school, there's a lot of conflict, I guess, at the moment with mindfulness and in education, and I guess because everyone's saying, well, a teacher can't teach mindfulness unless they have a personal practice. And I really get that, and I really believe that. But you know what? I worked out this week that when I was at a school and I looked at all the teachers, and in some of the schools here, they're not forcing all the teachers to do mindfulness. And then at this particular school, the principal has told all the teachers that they must all teach mindfulness in the classroom. And in the beginning, I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah.
And you know what? One thing I learned was that, and you're probably wondering, how's this relating? Yeah. I've changed my idea on this, and I actually, as a teacher, as you are a teacher, I wanted to share this with you. I realised that a lot of teachers are scared because what they're hearing is that unless you have your own personal practice, you are unable to teach mindfulness. And I realised this week, and there's a lot of that being shared at the moment, and I realised, what am I trying to say here? That I stood there and I kind of channeled this thing, and I said, you know what? When you go in the classroom, you've all been asked to teach mindfulness, and you're going to be accessing my program. You know what you should say to your kids? You should say to your kids, if you've never practiced before, say, you know what? I'm going to be teaching you mindfulness, and I've never done this before, and we're going to do this together, and we're going to learn together. And at that moment, I could see the surrender and the peace, and it was like they didn't have to pretend that it was math or English, or it was like
a personal journey together.
Yeah. And I realised,
Very good point. Very good point.
And I thought, who am I to judge to say that teacher is not going to be touched by this, even though they haven't been meditating for a year or haven't done an 8-week intensive. And it was like, oh my gosh, that's it. You know what I mean?
Actually, that's a really good point, Isabelle. Really good point.
I don't know why I said that to you, but that happened to me in a meditation tonight. And I thought, that's my new thing, because a lot of teachers are feeling the struggling with.
That's true. We always, yeah, we have a thing of saying you have to have your own practice because otherwise you can't. But like if you go in that space of like, it's a personal journey, and by the teacher facilitating the class, they are embodying it anyway themselves and growing. But if they come from that authentic space with the students, it just puts a different angle on it. It also takes it to another space of like, this isn't teaching, it's a facilitation of your own personal growth. That it's not like you have to learn this. Let's just embrace what it is. And I haven't done this either. And there's no right or wrong.
Yeah, and I said to one of the teachers, if you're not focusing or you're getting distracted, share that with the students and go, oh my gosh, okay, I'm getting distracted. Let's do some mindfulness, everyone. And go on that journey with them and show them, be vulnerable and show them that that
you're human, you're learning.
We're all human, and I've never done that at a training. I just kind of spoke out aloud, and I realised, and I thought, you know what, I'm changing my direction on this one. So anyway,
that's. I'm so glad you shared that, because also, you know what that would do is create a really authentic connection with the teacher and the students.
It will create, I believe,
that's lovely. Yeah,
we are waiting for people to get to a certain level before they can share this with their students. I was thinking, is that a bit of ego base here? Is that what the Dalai Lama would say?
Totally. Oh my goodness, you've said it. Yeah, totally.
And I realised, you know what, that this needs to be shared. We need to
maybe. Yeah. You can't.
Everyone. This is for everyone.
Yeah, it's like saying, you need to have a PhD before you can. You embody this beautiful way of being, but you can't share it because you don't have a PhD written on paper. But that's doing a disservice to other people. That's being selfish, holding back what you have to offer. So it's like looking beyond that, the ego and the what is deemed what you should have, to share. Who has that right to say who can or can't, or as you say, judging, if that teacher making that authentic connection, growing together with the students, could be the most powerful thing that student ever encounters. And the teacher, that's incredible. Oh, I love that. Yeah,
I think it would change the whole environment, and the kids will feel nurtured and safe because that teacher is communicating from a heart space, and not just coming across as a teacher with.
That's it. Yeah, it would change. Oh wow, that's incredible.
We'll see what happens, but the next training I go to, I'm going to. This is the. I'm going to say, hey, it's okay if you haven't done this. I'm changing my tune on this Zoom.
I like that. I really like that. It's been so well worthwhile talking to you.
No, but you and I don't know about you, but I've stumbled so many times along this path, and who am I to stand and tell people that, excuse me.
No, exactly.
How long have you meditated for, and what mindfulness courses have you done? And I've realised, my goodness, who am I to?
It's so right. You're so right. You stick with the meditation. You're coming up with great things there.
I'm losing time. I'm so sorry.
That's really great. I'm afraid we might be cut off soon from Zoom. Is there anything else, Isabelle, you'd like to share? But we'll definitely chat again.
I'm just grateful to be here with you and connect with you. I love to find out more about your course, actually, with anxiety, because I'd like to share it. And so, how many days is it?
It's actually just a short video course. It's divided up into like 2 and 3 minute videos. There's a few. There's a short meditation with each session. And what it does, it talks people through how to challenge their mindset with anxiety, tuning into the body. We do the body scan. and tuning into the symptoms of anxiety. We also, gosh, I'm put on the spot now. I also have a class that I love, is a part of it is my best possible self. So tuning into who you are, rather than, you know, a lot of anxiety comes out of comparing ourselves to others. So tuning into who you are and being authentic and true to who you are and developing that eases anxiety. So we work on it, go through the emotions, the mind, the body, your best possible self, gratitude, self-compassion and self-love is a huge one. And so, and the breathing, of course, breathing to start off. So that's really about it. It's just a short course to get people going at home. The meditations are short because I just thought, if somebody hasn't done all of this before, you know, just give them, and I go through a lot of techniques that can help them to instantly manage anxiety.
Wow.
So I'll give you access to my course. And then you can see, because it's always nice to share and, you know, help people, really.
Yes, definitely. That's what this community.
So it's coming from my space of everything that helped me, and that I really get it. And it's just a short course. So in all, there's like about, I think there's 7 or 8, I call it modules, but each one is like, has a few videos of 2-3 minutes. And we go through the neuroplasticity of how it's all affecting, what stress is doing and anxiety is doing, and how mindfulness physically makes changes in the brain. So it's what you're doing is having an actual impact on the chemical response in your brain. Just for people to understand that it's not just a wishy-washy new age thing. There's actually changes happening when you do these mindfulness techniques to calm your anxiety. So it's really practical tools to help people manage their chronic anxiety. That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
it's short and sweet. It's to the point. It's very real, and it comes from the heart.
That's I was about to say that I can really feel it. It's very genuine, it's authentic, and I think just connecting with your energy, people will get a lot out of it. Just being in the same space and listening to you.
Well, I hope so, because it's the techniques, as you know, are really empowering. You know, you'll see it in the course. I can't give it all away.
I can't wait to see it.
You'll see it in the little course. I'll give you access, and well, I'm sure maybe we will do something together at some point. That would be so lovely. Maybe we will do a joint webinar training or something.
Yes.
Definitely. Go meditate on it, Isabelle. Find out.
We'll put it out there to the universe, and I know in our meditation or in our dreams, we'll wake up one day and I'll call you, hey, this is what we've got to do.
That's awesome.
Let me know when the course is available online, and
should be. I'm hoping tomorrow. It's technology based dependent, but it should be. I'm hoping tomorrow or by the weekend. But I will let you know. I'm very excited. You know, when you see it's like your whole dream come true. When you see it evolve, it's like it's actually really emotional. It's amazing.
It's like giving birth again, because
without the pain. Well, there was pain involved.
Sometimes when I was speaking to Insight Time recently on the phone, and they said, how are you going? And I said, well, the mindfulness industry can sometimes be so busy. You know what I mean? Like,
it's reminding yourself, you know.
We laughed and we're like, isn't it funny? Like, this is the mindfulness industry. We're all supposed to be, you know.
No.
But we get busy, and
well, you know, creating it into a business of, you know, and that's the only way you're going to empower other people, is like embracing a whole other side of yourself that isn't naturally in me. So that's been massive growth. And sometimes there's pain in growth, but you come through it. and you
Yes.
learn and you grow.
Yes, exactly right. I've had to, yeah, that wasn't my best skill. And my husband, so he's my Kai, he's my business
Yes.
manager.
Yeah,
He's
I love that.
grounded, and he does the marketing and the website, thank goodness.
That's great. And at least because he knows you so well, he gets what your, you know, your mission and your purpose and your ethos to put behind the branding and the website and your work, which is really great when you have somebody who gets it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very blessed in that way. So yes, onwards and upwards, and I hope, you know.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to access your work, you're online.
Yes, so if anyone wants to go to My Peaceful Universe, and so I love doing teacher training. So if anyone's looking for a program for their clinic, or they want to run classes, I have a 1-year subscription where they get access to a whole year's worth of breathing exercises, my meditations, a mindful lesson each week, a mindful game, and journaling. So it's a year's worth.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's a mindfulness program.
That's lovely. Yeah.
And our program is based on resilience, self-awareness, concentration, compassion, and happiness. So anyone who's passionate about teaching mindfulness, please visit my website, and they can do our teacher training and get started. It's
and as you said, even you know, it's focused on the kids, but as a teacher or a practitioner facilitating, you also gain so much from it.
Oh, exactly.
So, even if it was, you know, if you're not a teacher, if you're like a parent, a caregiver, anybody, just so they know, they are going to, it's going to transform their lives too.
Exactly right. And we actually have quite a few mums who've done the program, and it's because they want to teach their children, which I think is so beautiful.
Yeah, oh, it is. Oh, great.
So yes, come and visit, or drop me a line and say hi on Facebook or Instagram, or I just love with people around the world and spreading joy and love and mindfulness.
Exactly, that's what it's about. Oh, well, before we're cut off, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you so much, Isabelle.
Really, really such a pleasure, and enjoy the rest of the day while the kids are at school.
Yes. And I got to get that course online. Top.
Yes, get that online. Let me know. And
Zoom call on Facebook, and I'll tag you in it. And I'm going to continue my series next week. I'm moving to Bali. I'm going to Daniela Hayes in Bali, so I will.
Wow, she's gorgeous. I haven't met her, but I've seen all her posts and.
Yeah. So I'll be speaking to the two of them. They're in Australia at the moment. Actually, they live in Bali, but they're going to be in Australia. And so I will be chatting to them next Thursday.
Excellent! I can't wait to
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Spread the word, and any other mindful mentors who you feel would like to be part of so long as they drink tea or coffee, so they can join us on the couch.
Absolutely, yes, that's right.
Coffee and connect. If they want to share their mindful wisdom and anything with anybody, then I would be delighted to chat, because we're here to empower, connect, and share what we know with others. So
exactly right, and you're a beautiful soul. I appreciate my time with you.
Oh, you too, Isabelle. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Keep on shining your beautiful light.
You too, and we will meet again.
Okay, have a beautiful day. Bye.